guys? It's your girl Pink Lee. Welcome to the Ranting Raving Podcast. We have a special guest for you guys tonight. You guys can introduce yourself. Tell the audience who you are and what do you do.
I'm Christine Elise. I am a harpist, and I'm in a duo.
Peace. I'm KUF KNOTZ. I'm an MC and producer in this duo.
Yes. And if you guys haven't checked out their music, please do so. Two of my faves, for real. And I haven't said that about anyone, so y'all know it's real. Okay? But no, they definitely make some music for, I would say, the everyday life. Like you don't have to be in a mood, one of those types of mood to listen to their music. Any mood you're in, if you're feeling down, it's going to bring you up. If you're feeling up, it's going to push you higher. They're definitely that. So you guys check out their music on Apple, Spotify, whatever your favorite streaming platform is, and check them out because they're always doing shows like literally all over the world. So just keep an eye out. No matter where you are in the world, they're probably coming to a city near you. So as you know, first and foremost, we got to shout out our sponsor. Shout out to Pink Drinks. Right here we got the strawberry red. Y'all renamed my drink the tequila red. It is now the strawberry red. And I've got some toxic tea here as well. As you guys know, they're always here for you 24/7 pickup or delivery. You can place your order at Pink Drinks at PINKKDRINKKS. There's an order form if you want to do it that way, but most of you guys like to shoot me a DM, so feel free to shoot me a DM. And we got some things coming for the summer, so you guys make sure you keep an eye on Pink Drinks. I also want to give a shout out to our other sponsor, Cheap Air. I know summertime is coming up. Speaking of summer, it's coming up, and they have a lot of deals for you guys. So not only do they have just cheap air, but they have flights, like combination situations where you can get your flight, your hotel, your car rental, all that for the low. And trust me, that's something that you want to get into. So make sure you guys check the description, check the comments for the link, and you guys get your cheap vacation because you deserve it. Okay. So as you know, in the beginning of the podcast, we always go back into words of wisdom. We're on episode 90 right now. We're about to drop episode 91 next week. But we're on episode 90, and episode 90 was the hardest person to hold accountable is yourself, right? But we're going to throw it all the way back to episode 10 where the topic was never stop learning. So I feel like it's important that we're all students of life. You know what I mean? You should always constantly be finding new ways to learn different things, and also find yourself in a way of being teachable. Like, don't feel like you know everything. And I know from personal experience, y'all, I'm one of those people, like, I'm bossy. I know, but in all actuality, you don't know. Okay, so be teachable, be coachable, be willing to learn, because I promise you're going to reach your goal so much faster that way. It's already a marathon. It's already going to take some time, but you got to know that if you're open to learning new things and new ways, you're going to move faster than you would. So you guys have anything to say about being a student of life or never stopping, the learning process?
For sure. It's funny because we're working on a new album now, and that's something that comes up in a lot of the new songs, lines and messages about being a forever student, a student of life, always learning. Just because, like you said, that's something that's going to accelerate that path to getting and reaching your goal. Just knowing that you don't know.
Yeah, it's okay not to know.
Yeah.
Not to know, yeah.
I think I learned that the most through teaching, that I learned to be a student the most through teaching experiences. And once I realized that, one of the best ways to teach is to learn in a collective, in a group, instead of having this hierarchy. Like, we all have something to learn. And once you realize that, you're a step closer to learning even more.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love both inputs of what you're saying, and I think it's crazy. I think this was meant to be the segment this week because it's in the album, I think that is huge what you were saying about just learning in the group setting and then just being around, just everyone being teachable and everyone being coachable and everyone having something to offer and something to take away. I feel like that's so important, and it helps people feel more comfortable to learn as well. So, because a lot of people are like, everyone's not outgoing. Not everyone's just like, hey, I'm me. Some people are nervous. Some people are just more timid than others, and there's nothing wrong with that. But there needs to be like comfortable spaces where they can feel comfortable to ask questions and to learn. So that was important. All right. Okay, that was good. That was good. Love that. Hope you guys love it too. And the comments, let us know, what are some ways that you continue to learn throughout life? You know, even whatever space that you're in life, whatever part of the journey you're in. Let us know in the comments what you do to learn more, or do you even feel like people should be learning more? Should they just shut it down and feel like they know everything? Because everyone has a different opinion. So whatever your opinion is, let us know in the comments. So we're going to get started with these hot topics. All right, I'm going to let Christine Elise go first. She's going to pick the first hot topic. You don't got to pick from the top. You don't have to pick from the bottom. Pick from wherever. If you want to reach over and pick whatever you want to do. It's all good.
I'm going to pick number 7.
It's a good number.
Would you want to permanently feel zero pain forever if given the chance? I feel like the initial answer would be yes. But then if you really think about it, I would say no, because similar to like emotions, if you don't feel the spectrum of emotions, then there's really no way to feel, to feel gratitude for the no pain. So when you feel pain, that makes you put it into perspective of what no pain feels like, and that give and take and appreciation, where if it didn't exist, there wouldn't really be also compassion for other people that feel it. Like there's just kind of, I would feel like there would be just a plateau of, there's not that spectrum there. So I would say my answer would be, I would not want to feel no pain.
How about you?
Oh, I answered the same question? Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, I agree. I would say no, for that same reason.
Yeah, I agree too, for the same reason. I do like that you brought up one thing that I didn't think about with this was you saying we would have no compassion for others, because the question, in the scenario, it doesn't include everyone else not having pain. Right. It's just us. So I thought that was like very thoughtful of you to bring that up and just and compassionate, and even bringing it up that we wouldn't. Because I didn't even think about that. I was just thinking like, well, how am I going to be happy? I'm going to be bored. Like, no pain. I'm going to be bored. But yeah, I like that you brought that up. I feel like that's maybe something that's overlooked in that scenario, but it's very important. Very important. All right, now, if you can choose one.
What's that? Number 3. What weird thing would you make sociably accessible if you could, and why? What weird thing?
Yeah, there's I feel like I don't know, right?
So I would say being an artist. I feel like a lot of people don't view artists as a normal thing. I feel like that's outside of the norm. To people who aren't artists, it's kind of weird. Like, what are you doing with your life? Like, you're supposed to do this, and that. So I feel like being an artist, I would make that socially acceptable and not such an outcast thing.
Yeah, I love that. That's good. That was good. That was good and quick. Man, I don't even know. I don't even know what to say.
Well, I feel like adding on that, a lot of times people will ask, like in conversations out of a show, they'll be like, so what do you do? Yeah. And that is a frequent question to ask. Like, what do you do? What is my profession other than this? Because it's already assumed that this isn't my full-time job. Yep. So it is interesting that like that is maybe seen as weirdly unachievable to be a full-time artist.
I think that's true. And just to add on a third to what you guys are saying, I'm not sure why it is this way, but people assume that, they assume that this isn't right, that what you do full time, but they also assume that you've assumed that success means like something that it may not look like for you. So some people's idea of success might be, I want to be Jay-Z, Beyonce level, or else it's nothing for me. But people don't understand that, like, some people's idea of success is just living comfortably doing what they love to do. And you know, and that's out of the realm for some people can't even like get it. They're just like, so I mean, what happens if you never win a Grammy? It's just like, I don't know. I still do what I love, and I still sustain myself, and I'm so comfortable doing what I love to do. So I think that I think everyone's idea of success looks different, and I think being artists at this point in just society now, it's like, it's entrepreneurship. You know, just being an artist alone is entrepreneurship, and a lot of people can't get down with that alone, right? Like especially like older folks, they can't understand you giving up a career to do something that you love, sacrifice. But you wanted me to sacrifice during college, but I can't sacrifice doing something I love. So it's just this weird thing. I'm gonna actually take I don't even want to drink, but water while we get ready for this third question. All right. So I'm going to pick one now. Hopefully I pick a good one. Not a crazy one. Pick from here, from the bottom. All right, this is funny. You randomly get incredibly wealthy, but tell no one. What signs would people see to tip them off? Well, I guess I'll start since I picked it. You won't see me. That'll be the sign. You just won't see me. I'll be gone. Like, you won't be able to get a hold of me. Like, you can stream my music, but you can't reach me. And that's how you'll know. So, for those of you who just kind of see, you know, but there's probably some who think that now because you can't get a hold of me. But you're not supposed to. You're not supposed to. But I think that would be the biggest tip off. I would just probably, like, kind of vanish. You would just see me here, there, you know, less than what you see me now. So, yeah. How about for you guys?
Maybe like even more programming or like a wider reach happening quickly. You know, like being able to have funding to do different things, you know, being able to reach more people like kind of in a quick span. You know, even if you didn't say that you had become wealthy, that would be someone like, where'd they get all the funding to do this?
Yeah, that's a good one.
I think like a lot of really wild rings. A lot of really wild rings. Kicks. Same thing. And also like you would see me traveling the world, like everywhere, all the wild destinations. Yep.
I think like a combination of what you said and what you said is probably why you wouldn't see me. So I think all of our answers were kind of aligned. They were aligned. It's important. I feel like it's important to have those ideas about what you would do if you were to become wealthy, because for me it's in the plans. You know what I mean? Sure. I think about it as it's like supposed to happen. It's going to happen. It's just it's a marathon, so it's a matter of when it's going to happen. So I just continue to strive in different ways and try to stay consistent and hardworking in everything I'm doing. But I think it's important to really think about these things because they will happen for us. And when they do, we need to have our little game plan together. Like we might have to tighten it up or loosen it up some way, but we need to have our little plan. So it's like, okay, $3 billion. You say, okay, all right. I'm out. Like, let me put this world tour together. Yeah. And we're out. Exactly. So I think that's a beautiful thing. But we're gonna take a quick break. While we're gone, I want you to let us know if you became incredibly wealthy, what would tip people off? What are the signs for you guys? Let us know in the comments. In the meantime, and we'll be right back. And stay locked in because once you're locked in, ain't no switching up. We'll be right back. All right, so here at the Ranting Raving Pod, as you may or may not know, behind the scenes, we get into all types of crazy conversations on our breaks. And we just were talking about emojis, the language of emojis, right? Do you guys speak emoji? Because we were just talking about how emojis can be so misconstrued, like heart eyes, where you could just be like adorable. That could mean like slide in my DM, you know, or like the kissy face where it's like, you know, they're thinking it's this kind of kiss, and it's just like it could be crazy. You guys agree like that it could be crazy?
Yeah,
like
yes.
I don't know. Have you ever received? So do you think there's a difference between the color of hearts? And then we were just talking about this. Like, do you think that it matters if it's a pink, red, purple, green, black? Does it matter? And is a black heart a bad thing?
Right. The yellow. I feel like yellow is the like. What would that be like?
The friendship color?
Yeah,
like a yellow rose.
Yeah, like if
that's
you
like
if you
the
hit the
association.
yellow. Yeah.
Oh, I might have to use the yellow. Yeah, I've been using the green for whatever. You know what I honestly use? I use whatever's in my recent emojis.
Okay,
because I'm not one to go like search for emojis, but if I have to use it for something and it's kind of hanging out, I'm like, oh, I'm just add this for a little razzle dazzle. Like, you know, like I don't know. But I feel like for sure if I know the person, like Gretchen Elise. Shout out to Gretchen. I always give her red hearts because I love Gretchen so much. So I mean to give her red hearts, right? Unless a red heart is just not available in my recent. That's the only time I won't. But like for like people I may just only be just like know on the internet. Yeah, I kind of give you guys a black heart, and I hope that no one's taking it wrong because I just thought about like literal meanings of a black heart, which is like a black rose, which is like the end. So it's like I don't know. I think I'm gonna go with yellow. I think I might have to go to yellow. But let us know in the comments if you guys speak emoji and if you think emoji is really a language, because I feel like it is at this point. There's like a handicapped emoji and a pregnant emoji, and you know you can do skin tone emojis. So it's like, you know, it's getting there.
Well, I think also too, like, because text is so hard to have emotion. That it was created to like let me help add to my emotion in my text, you know, instead of like that's great or like that's great.
That's that's true, right? Like, but I feel like then it can get misconstrued too, because I'm just thinking about like, so do you know this? I'm just gonna bring this up randomly. It's not an emoji, but it's also along the same lines. You know, like ... just like after. What does that mean to you?
To be continued, or
do you think it's like a negative or positive or neutral thing? Because I've always looked at it as a negative thing, and apparently it's not always like that.
Well, sometimes I think some people are still going to write, right? Like, so the people that only add a few lines and then like not big paragraphs of writing. So the ... might mean like, I'm still writing, don't answer yet, you know, as like continued. But if it's on a statement that says like, so where are you, ... I think that's kind of like, you better answer.
Applying that pressure. Applying pressure. So the ... could be pressure as well. Okay, we'll put that in there too. I feel like the ... because what led me to that thought was when you were saying like the usage of emojis and text to show emotion. And it's like sometimes though, because like there's like that unhappy smiling face, like the one that has like the teary eyes where it's like, oh, I'm so happy, but or the just regular crying face, and sometimes people use that crying face as a laughing face. Like I'm crying, laughing. So it gets confusing. Like, are you crying? Especially when someone's making like maybe a little touchy joke about something that could be sensitive. You're like, are you like upset that they're making this joke, or are you laughing at this joke? You know, it gets confusing. But I don't know. Y'all let us know in the comments. Is emojis a language? Is there an emoji language? Is there a class we can take, or is there an app? Like, just let us know. And I'm gonna hand it to Christine Elise because she's going to pick our next topic.
All right. If you had to prove you were human, not AI, in 5-minute video, via a text conversation, how would you do it? So a 5-minute text conversation that I'm not AI. I probably would include things that the person that I'm sending the message to would know. Because I just saw something on one of the social medias where somebody got hacked, and there was this whole thread of conversation where the person who was getting the messages was like, well, Greg wouldn't say that. And then, so like, I feel like AI would create stuff, but if you put in something that person really uniquely knows you, that really a computer couldn't create, then it kind of helps you be more humanistic.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's super good, actually. How about you? Would you do something similar or something different?
I think so. I think that would, yep.
I think that would be the good best way. I was going to say emojis, which is so funny given our last combo. I was going to say I would use like emojis, like, I don't know, probably, but that's a good way too. I don't know. I think those are like the only ways that I could probably really think of to like bring up something that happened in the 4th grade.
Right.
Or, yeah, or something that happened like no one knew.
Yeah.
Or emojis. But then I'm just thinking AI could probably like create a new emoji that you're like, oh, where'd you get this emoji? Like, who carrier you got? So yeah, that would probably be the best way. And I'm gonna let KUF take. I'm gonna real quick. Let us know in the comments, you guys. How would you guys prove that you were human? 5-minute text conversation. How would you prove you were human and not AI?
Is flirting cheating?
That's a good one.
I guess it depends what type of relationship you're in. If you're in a what's seen as a typical monogamous relationship, then I think some people could or might consider flirting cheating. But if you're in a non-conventional relationship, I don't think it would be considered flirting, cheating. Yeah.
I think it's like the threshold of your partner.
Yep.
And that like communication of, you know, because what is cheating is different for everybody's, you know, understanding. And if some people would think there's just different things. Some people might think even saying hi to someone as you pass them on the street, some people might say, why'd you say hi to that person? You know, when that's just genuine, like, hey, you know, friendly. So, yeah, I would think it's like what your partner assumes flirting is. And if it bothers them, then maybe they won't stick around too long if that's what you do.
They're out immediately. No, I agree with you. I agree with what both you guys said. I definitely feel like it depends on how your partner feels, and I think it depends on like definitely how you define flirting. Because for me, I think there's so many different ways to flirt. Right. Like, I feel like even like old ladies or old men, you could like say like, oh, I was flirting with them, and it's nothing sexual. It's nothing like even just like physical attraction. It's just like being just a little like just saying a little extra joke or being a little flirty. I think I think a lot of people think that flirting automatically has this like sexual connotation, and it doesn't. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You could just be like, I don't want to say you could flirt with a kid, but you can, an innocent flirt. You could just be like, oh, I like those shoes. Like, okay, you go, boy. Like, or you go, girl. And it could be like a 2-year-old. You're just like making them feel good about themselves. Good. Yeah. For sure. So I think it depends. Sure. On the other note of like having the sexual connotation with flirting, I think that it's not cheating, but I feel like it's what opens the door for cheating. Mm-hmm. For a monogamous relationship, because how I feel is that, you know, oh, you look good. Oh, you look good. You look good again. Oh, you look good again. Oh, we should link. Okay, now we're linking. Okay, now we're doing it. It's the gateway drug to cheat. Flirting is the gateway drug to cheat. It is. I feel like I really feel that way because it just happens that way. That's exactly what happens. And I think, again, those conversations need to be had. Like, if your significant other does something that you're not comfortable with, you just need to speak on it and say, hey, not trying to start an argument, but I didn't like the way that made me feel when you did that or when you said that. So can you please not do it again? And then you leave when they say no. You say, no, I'm going to do it. Then you're out, right? I'm just kidding. But no, for real, kind of kidding, kind of not. But yeah, you have to at least speak how you feel. Right, at least have that open conversation, and then you guys can kind of figure out and work your way through. But it's definitely the gateway drug if it's in the sexual connotation. If it's not, then I feel like flirting is so innocent, and I feel like flirting is kind of necessary. Like non-sexual flirting, because I don't know, like I like making people feel good. So like I like if I say, hey girl, I love that dress. Oh, pockets too, okay girl. Like I like she's gonna be smiling all day. Like if someone compliments me on my perfume or something like that, I know I'm smiling. Or like my earrings are like I'm happy. I'm like okay, I'm cute. Like you kind of get that. So why not just pay it forward with that energy. So I feel like that's kind of like a necessity a little bit. You gotta need to spread the good joy, and that could be considered flirting. So it's one of those. I guess it's my turn to pick. I don't know. I'm looking at the numbers now. I'm like trying to remember which is which, and I don't know. So I'm just Oh my God. If you could implant one false memory in the minds of everyone in the world, what would the memory be? So I thought about this for a hot second, and I really feel like the false memory would be something along the lines of like that no violence ever existed.
Yes.
Right? So that way violence would be like something like unheard of. Yeah. You know what I mean? So we could literally have world peace that way. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my thought was similar to that with love, like something about love being. But yeah, that's a great one.
Yeah, it would have to be somewhere along those lines.
Yeah, I don't think I can top that.
It's like one of those things because you think about a false memory. It's just like, well, what do I want people not to remember? Like, how could I make the world a better place? Okay, people are way too violent and angry. Yeah. If people get angry and violence isn't an option, they automatically have to find another outlet. Automatically, you have to, because you don't even know that you can punch a wall. Yeah. Because if you feel like you can punch a wall, you feel like you can punch a person. Yeah. So,
well, I mean, if there was no violence, there would be no wars. There would be no,
and that would in turn create more opportunity, more money, more people. Because there'd be more money, less money spent on wars, and more money from the government actually helping the countries. And that's not just us, that's every country, because they all spend money on the wars for no reason. Sure. It gets tricky, but I feel like that would be the best.
I always thought of, I've thought about before, that if each person could contribute their knowledge that they learned or knew or skill, then if the thought was that once that was contributed, then someone wouldn't have to contribute it anymore. They would just build on that. Like how smarter of a collective, how strong a collective we would be. Like finding cures. It seems like certain people are working towards the same goal and then not sharing what they learned. So then that goes back to being a constant learning. But I feel like we're repeating trying to learn, versus if we thought it was organic for us to what was said then doesn't have to be said anymore, and you just go further.
I feel like the reason why people don't do that literally right now, the reason why the world isn't like that, because it makes perfect sense. I feel like people's egos in the way. Everyone wants their credit. No, I created this, so you have to start from scratch with your labs and everything with all your whatever you're gonna do. You have to start from scratch. There's no way I'm handing you my paperwork for you to continue on, even though I'm 94 and you're 25. You know, I'm never gonna hand it down for you to continue the journey. Like I'm just not doing it. But people's egos are in the way.
Yeah, and that's a big thing with like you know, secret societies, different organizations. Like the big thing is secrets. Don't share this knowledge with anyone. You know. So that's like that's wild.
Yeah, no gatekeeping the information. Just like let it out, let everyone learn, because you know people. Excuse me. Some people have like strong suits that they never even get to tap into because they weren't even like aware of such a thing existed, whatever that thing may look like. Like 100%. You know, like imagine how many dope pianists there are, but there could be if they had only had an opportunity to be around a piano. You know, so
sure. And then on top of that, people are afraid that like, well, another piano player is going to come that's going to take my spot. And it's like, as a harpist, like nobody plays the harp the same, regardless. Like if in anything, in any craft, like everybody is unique to how they all put their spin on it. So if you threw out the idea that someone's going to replace you, then that would also not, you know, that would allow you to share more, you know.
There's a lane for everyone.
Yeah.
For everyone.
I definitely learned that. I was a security guard at the TLA on South Street for years. And the one thing that job did is open my mind and like inspire me, because I would be there on a Wednesday, Thursday, and it would be bands I've never heard of, and the room would be packed. And the genres like expanded from, it could be punk, it could be country, it could be bluegrass. Like it didn't matter. But what I saw was all these bands were bringing tons and tons of fans, and it's like, and I'm like, who's this? Like, wait, what? And it just opened my mind. Like, yo, there's literally enough people in this world that there's a lane for everyone.
Yes.
You know?
That's so important. I'm glad you just told that story, because I feel like there's a million people who need to hear that. Like, stop, and it goes to also stop trying to be something that you're not. It's like, stick to what you are, because there is a lane for you still, and there's 100%. Probably more of a lane for you because you're your authentic self, right? Yeah. Like making music or creating art that's in its inception trying to emulate someone else is no good. You know what I mean? You literally have to be, I hate to say it like this, but you got to be true to you. Like, it sounds so corny, but it's such a thing. Like, it's such a real thing. Yeah. Because everyone can get paid. Everyone can create. Everyone can be acknowledged in their own way. And when when you are truly and authentically yourself, it's easier for you to, I say, have longevity. Yeah. Because there's no longevity when you're faking the funk. Like when you're not being, or doing whatever's true to you, you kind of have a short time to really like, okay, well, what's popping now? Now you got to stay up on what's new and what's upcoming. Because
like chasing the trend.
Yeah, like you're chasing a trend. And I was there. I'm not even going to get too much into it on the podcast, because we've went over this in so many episodes. But yeah, I used to literally, try to create music that I felt like I should be creating instead of what I wanted to create. And it was a big issue for me. I was wondering why I couldn't reach even the most minor goals. Yeah. And it was just like, a bunch of unauthenticness just going on. And once I just stopped being afraid to tap into who I was and what I really wanted to say and how I really felt, it became a lot easier for me to create. And it also landed me more opportunities. And now it also created other lanes within that. Yeah. So I know how important it is to be just true to yourself and authentic, because again, there's a lane for everybody. So I hope all these stories encourage you guys to just be your authentic self and stay true to you, because it's imperative for your success. You will not get far. And even if you get far, you won't stay there trying to be someone else. Trust me. But we are going to take a quick break. When we come back, we have more hot topics for you coming up. So make sure you stay locked in, because once you're locked in, ain't no switching up. We'll be right back. All right. So before we get into some more juicy topics, I have to give another shout out to our sponsor, Pink Drinks. This is the toxic tea. This is the best tea you're ever gonna have in your life. I know you guys like those little twisted teas and everything like that, but that's gonna taste like a twisted tea, and it's gonna put you somewhere like you were just taking shot after shot after shot by the end of the bottle. Trust me. If you know, you know, and if you don't, you should probably find out. You can follow at PINKKDRINKKS. You can hit the order form, or you can just shoot me a DM, but make sure you get a pink drink. So we are about to get into some more of these topics. I think it's on Christine to pick a card, so she's going to pick one. And let's see which one she picks.
Oh. If you could go back in time and give your parents advice before you were born, what advice would you give them? I would say relax a little bit. Like, you did all right in a way that, like, everybody has hard times and things aren't easy all the time, and but I think parents in general put a lot of pressure on themselves to, like, create this being that's and I would say to them, it's okay, take a deep breath. And I think both my parents are doing that more now, taking deep breaths, and taking a break. Take more time for themselves, to be able to be more present and authentic in the moment.
That's like some deep words of wisdom. That's like, yeah, I like that. As a parent, I'm just sitting here taking it in, like, yeah.
That's heavy.
Yeah, this is like a deep one, kind of. It's like,
what advice you'd give to your parents before you were born?
Yeah.
I think it would be different for my mom and dad. For my father, I would have told him to avoid alcohol at all costs. In every way possible, avoid alcohol. For my mother, similar to what Christine said, don't be so hard on yourself. Give yourself more credit, and love yourself more.
Aww, those are all so sweet things to say. Yeah, I would probably tell my parents, relax a little bit. Stop worrying about me because I don't fit into a box. I'm never going to fit into a box. I'm never going to be the predictable child, adult. Like, I'm just never going to be the predictable one. So just go with my flow and love me throughout it all, which they have. So I would probably just tell them to relax and go with the flow more. Yeah, I feel like just me being outgoing and inquisitive probably gave them a run for their money. And so I would just try to prepare them for that. Yeah, I'm that kid. And now I'm that adult, and I'm always going to be that daughter. Yeah, I'm just like that. So I think it took, especially my mom, it probably took her a long time to kind of like get me and just like, okay, because we're like polar opposite. She's very quiet, very talkative, loud, outgoing. She's very reserved, very observant, and just like, she's a class act, no lie, but we're just opposite in the ways of our just like introvert, extrovert, that sort of thing. So I would tell her to just kind of go with my flow a little bit. You know what I mean? It's all gonna be all right, and it is. So yeah, I think I hope our parents watch this, and I hope that they take in what was said, because even though it was advice for before we were born, I feel like they all would appreciate everything that was said. So it's a cute little moment. All right, Coop, it's on you.
Yeah.
Pick the next one.
Mixing friend groups, yes or no, and why? So I take that's with your with partner, or
it's kind of meant like some people have like different friend groups, some people don't.
Yeah.
But you might have your friend group who you know maybe from like high school, but you guys are still cool. You may have your college crew, you may have your music crew, or you may have you know, cousin friends or whatever. Yeah, that sort of thing.
I would say there's no. I wouldn't have a problem mixing those groups. Let me think. Yeah. No, I wouldn't have a problem mixing groups for sure.
Okay. How about you?
I would say yes, because it's one of those things where like you never know who's gonna connect, but if you say no, then you never know. So like, you might as well just put them all together. And then like
I think too, like all my friend groups are really small. And it's like, even though they're different friend groups, like if it was someone that I thought was I think because they're small and I know each of their personalities, it wouldn't be a thing to mix it.
So that's different from what I was like. I don't know what I was expecting, but I don't know. I just think like I felt like people were automatically going to say no. Maybe I don't know why. I would say like I couldn't answer the question. I thought about it and I was like, I can't answer this. I would say there's no context for this, but it would depend on where. For me, like what is the activity we're doing? Because if we're like sitting down, like eating or going out for drinks, I would say it matters, right? It definitely matters at that point, because there's like way too much time for people to start talking about like politics and religion and things that never go well at the dinner table. So I would say maybe it's leaving too much freedom. But if we're doing like an activity like a sip and paint or like something like that, I feel like it could be beneficial, even because now we all are connecting over one thing, and everyone can kind of like joke or laugh or feel comfortable. Even the introverts can still feel comfortable to get their pain and like, oh, compare it, you know, just whatever. There's like, so as long as there's like a planned activity, I would say I'm with it. If there's no activity, if we're just like at a cookout, just like I'm doing like a mixed friends cookout, no. If we're going out to eat, probably not. If drinks, no, because people start people like let go of their inhibitions. It's just like, so how much your rent? How much you pay for rent? Like how much? Like they start asking like really intrusive questions because they're drinking and now they feel comfortable with you, and like,
or like maybe they're like, well, don't you remember when we were in 5th grade and like
or
you
that
did
one,
this, and
which could backfire on you. And I'm not going for. I actually had someone. So I brought that up because like I had when I had my baby shower, a friend who we were like really close in high school, and we kind of trailed off, but we stayed in touch, but we just weren't as close. And she came to my dad's house for my baby shower and proceeded to ask how much they paid. Like, how much is your rent here? And he was like, rent? He was like, I own this. Like, and that's none of your business. Also, like that part too. Like, it was so uncomfortable. And I was like, baby showers is a time where like your friends groups could be mixed. And it was like embarrassing for her because my dad embarrassed her. It was embarrassing for me. One, because my dad embarrassed her. And two, like, I brought her here around my current friends who are now looking at like, oh no, she's cool. Wait till she get here, y'all. Like, you guys are gonna love her. Like, how much y'all pay here? Like, what's going on with it? Like, what? Like, it was cringy. So that's why I brought that up, because it really has been a moment in life where I just wanted to shrink. It was so embarrassing. Like, please, if you're out there, don't ever ask how much someone paid for, whether it's an event space, whether it's a home, you're riding someone's car. Just don't ask questions about money. I would suggest Google or Carfax or something like that. Like, you can always get your information, but don't ask nobody. That is just, nasty work, y'all. That's nasty work. All right, I think it's my turn. I'm like a 2 and a 4 and a 2 and a 4, and I'm trying to pick reasons why each one. Just pick the 4. This is interesting. You find out through Ancestry.com that you and your significant other are related. What do you do next? Well, me personally, how we're related, like how far down the line, and then how long we've been together, because we've been together like 2-3 years, like that's enough time for me to really, really love you, and it's just like I just gotta let you go, because like we're like cousins from like, I don't know, I don't know. I think it depends, because clearly we're not that close if we didn't know,
right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Unless you're adopted, which, yeah, you just never know. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I would agree with
how far removed.
Yeah, because if you didn't know and you were going on with life, then, I mean, of course, then now you've learned something, so you have to navigate that. But it's not, like at a barbecue. And then it's like so close to someone says like, yeah, maybe that would be a little weird, like that close, like a cousin, but second cousin once removed, maybe it's like a little farther away.
Heavy on the removed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I was actually, my thing is like when I have a lot of laundry to fold, which is like always, I always watch Tubi movies, right? You know what Tubi is? Tubi is like this. It's an app. It's a free app. It's a movie app, and it's a way for like independent filmmakers. Not all of them are independent, but most of them are independent filmmakers to upload. Cool. With that, you get a lot of like. There's a lot of creative movies there, and then you got a lot of like crazy, like who wrote this, who shot this, like how did they just do a 3-hour movie in 2 different rooms, like only 2 rooms, and just rearrange, like you get a wide variety, right? And so I was watching one recently, and I was just like so sorry I watched it, because it was like the lighting was great, the sound was great, the script was okay, and the acting was okay, so I feel like I could get through it. So I pushed through it, folded my clothes. It's only like an hour long, so I'm doing what I gotta do. So here, these 2 people meet and they fall like madly in love with each other. Like they're just like, oh, this is the one. But the mom hates the girl for some reason. Like she can't stand her. Like she's so rude to her, and like she's like this perfect woman for her son, right? So the woman is adopted, and here she's like, I don't want to find my biological parents. I'm not worried about it, whatever. So here they're, fast forward, they're on the way to getting married, they're engaged, and they're like literally approaching their wedding date. And she's like, you know what? Our wedding date's coming up. Maybe I should try to find my biological parents so they could come to the wedding. Yeah. So she starts looking, she finds her dad. She doesn't know her dad is sick, but her dad is sick. She finds her dad, and she brings, she's like, they live in a different state. She brings them down. She goes to visit him. She brings him down for like this big like pre-wedding dinner, like pre-wedding dinner or whatever, just so like the parents can meet or whatever, right? Brings her down, and there's this like awkward interaction between her dad and his mom. But like they kind of play it off. No one kind of realizes it. So he insists on staying in a hotel. So come to find out, the mom comes to the hotel, like knocks him over the head with something. We still don't know what's going on, but like knocks him over the head with something. He ends up in the hospital, right? Right. So it gets crazy. So he ends up in the hospital, and like as he's like like dying literally, because come to find out he has cancer too, so he's like dying. He's like, Evelyn is your then he's like croaks, and she's like, I can't get this out of my head, like I have to figure it out. So she goes to like look in his items because he's passed on now, and she finds a picture of her fiance's mom, and that's her mom.
Oh wow!
So that's how it was crazy. So she's pregnant. So the last scene of the movie ends up being like, tell her, you're gonna tell her. And she's like, oh, I'm her mom, whatever comes out. And then the son's like, I'll never forgive you for this, all dramatic. So he runs out the door, goes inside his truck, bangs out immediately. You just see his head, like his brain splattered on the truck, and he's like this. And then it's just like, stay tuned for part 2. I promise. God, Tubi is like that. It's like, again, if you can push through them, sometimes they really are crazy. Sometimes they get on my nerves. I'm just like, okay, it's too many low budget films at once.
Yeah.
But it is wild. And I try to support, like, also, like, shout out to everybody who's making films out of Philly. If you've made a film out of Philadelphia, it's on Tubi. I've watched it. I've given it a thumbs up. I may not share it, I may not, but I've given it a thumbs up. I've liked it, just so it gets recommended, to other people. And I just for the love of the city, But that was crazy. And so that made me think, like, when I read the question and just going back to the movie, I'm just like, well, how far removed? Because like, what if someone's adopted?
Yeah.
And then you just don't know, and you're just like, oh my God. And then mind you, the girl was pregnant too, so she's like carrying her brother's baby. Yeah. Like, I don't know, it gets sticky. Stay tuned for part 2. I'll address it on the pod. I'll keep y'all updated. I can't leave y'all hanging like that, like they left us hanging. But apparently there will be a part 2. It's called Mother May I. That just came to my head. If you guys are interested in watching, even though I just gave the spoiler alert, but there's other parts that you didn't see, and you should just support people doing independent films, because
that's cool.
Hollywood's not doing anything but doing remakes a million times. So you might as well support indie everything.
True words.
All right, it's your turn, right? Last, or no, it's me.
No, you just went.
Yep.
I just went.
Christine.
So it's you.
Dun, dun.
The last one.
Would you choose to know your future if it meant forgetting your past? I would not want to choose my future. If it meant forgetting your past.
Yeah. So you know what happens. You know what's about to happen, but you don't know what even got you to that point.
That's pretty trippy.
Yeah.
No. I feel like I wouldn't want to know what happens.
Mm-hmm.
No, because then that anticipation of it's coming is really that's anxiety provoking.
Yes. Yeah, so when is it going to happen for me? Yes.
Yeah, because it's like it's easier to let go of the past. Like, it's easy to let go of the past because you can't get the past back. Mm-hmm. So I feel like as humans, we're continuing to let go of the past. You know what I mean? But it would be different to know what's in your future, because then that would make the now really interesting.
Yeah. Or not interesting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or not interesting.
Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, no.
No? Yeah. No. I feel like, yeah.
No way.
It's the same. I think we all wanna reach our goals, and for me, it takes away the sense of like belief, and it takes away the motivation, right?
Right.
So now, like, if I already know that, like, think about a kid with a huge trust fund, right? Do they feel super motivated to do well in school? Do they feel super motivated to do well in sports or things that can, or their passions or their hobbies, crafts, whatever it may be? Like, they may not feel as motivated because they know they have this chunk of money sitting there. Right. All they got to do is get to this age and they're going to be fine for the rest of their life. So it brings, there's no hard work, there's no discipline, there's no end goal, there's nothing to make you excited about life. And just like we were saying earlier with the when we were talking about I forget what we were saying, we were basically saying why did it just slip my mind? No, it was a question earlier. We were talking about just basically getting by. I'm missing it, so we're gonna forget about it because I ain't gonna sit here and hold you guys with trying to think about it. But basically, I feel like it would make life really, really boring if we already knew what was gonna happen, sure. And also it makes us forget who we are if we don't have our past. Like, we need our past to remind us how far we've come, to motivate us to go further. If I feel like, if even as like many as mistakes I've made, as many things as like people always like, oh, I wish if I could take one thing back, I probably wouldn't take anything back. Even though like my first answer would be, we want to say, oh, I want to take this back, but it's like no, because it taught me such a great, everything I've done, I've learned a lesson from. You know, so I feel like those lessons that are learned shape us to the people that we become and that we're trying to be. So if we don't have those lessons, then we're going to end up making the same mistakes because we don't even know what we've already what brought us to this point. So and that's imperative. I know that I wouldn't do anything if I didn't learn from my mistakes. I wouldn't be as motivated. There was times when people or like a person was just like, yeah, maybe, you suck, you shouldn't do music. Like, imagine me listening to them and not, and not pursuing or or not even learning to stand up for myself or learning to keep going. If I forgot all about that, how would I even reach what the future holds, So it's a lot of trickiness with that one. But you guys let us know in the comments, would you guys forget about your past to know what your future is? Let us know in the comments, because this is a tricky one. And I know I've learned one thing about these clips. You guys will always throw me a loop, like, with your answers. Like, I'll swear that no one could have this answer to this question, and someone will have it, stand on it, have facts and all types of experiences to back it up. So, and that's no shade towards anyone. It's just like, not just because it's not in my mindset and it's just not the way I think doesn't mean it's not valid. So I would like to know what you guys think. So drop it in the comments for us. All right. So, before we end off, I do want to give you guys a chance to let our audience know what you have coming up. Again, like I said, this is a dope duo right here. Check them out. But they're going to give you like a little update on what they have coming up so you guys can tap in with them.
Yeah. Off the top, when's this going to air?
This will be like 2 weeks.
Okay, yeah. So, on our website, KUF KNOTZ.com, KUFKNOTZ.com, we keep it updated with all of our shows. Right on the front page, as soon as you open it, all our shows are there. I'm not even going to embarrass myself and try to name which shows we have coming up, because
it's a lot.
I don't even, but, and all our music is on there. That's like the hub for everything. And you can get to all our social media, Facebook, Instagram, all from that one hub.
All right. So you guys need to be on that website then and stay tapped in, and we'll link it in the description box for you guys. So you guys can just do a little click. Make it easy for you. Well, I do thank you guys for coming on the Ranting Raving Pod. It was such a good time.
Thank you for having us.
Of course, I was going to say you're more than welcome back anytime. And for you guys out there on the YouTube land or wherever you may be tapping in with us, make sure you guys are tuned in every week. Make sure you guys are subscribed to Stereotype Radio on YouTube. Make sure you guys are following the Ranting Raving page at Ranting Raving Podcast, and make sure you're following Stereotype Radio on Instagram as well. We're always giving clips, giving out clips of the episodes. You'll be able to find the full episodes. You will be able to know if we're having any giveaways, anything like that. You'll just be able to say tapped in, tuned in. Also, you'll be able to get with our sponsors on there. So make sure you guys are tuned in. And you guys will see you next week. And just make sure you guys stay locked in, because once you're locked in, ain't no switching up. We'll see ya.
Peace.